Hi. Hello.
Hello, Woolie. How you doing?
Vex, salty, just the way everyone loves me. Nice and...
That's a good way to come into this sort of thing.
Yeah, just like a raw piece of meat. You know, I've been seasoned, salted on both sides, held out in the smoke house. So I'm...
This is the good kind.
Yeah, I'm gonna be nice and tangy today. Hi, Plague. You're joining me for a special occasion, I suppose.
That's right, Woolie. That's right, everyone else. Hello, I'm Plague. I'm Eli. My name's Eli. Plague of Gripes, YouTube/user, blah, 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 that shit. I draw things for them and also other things. We're doing a thing today. What is it, Woolie?
This is the drawing board, and it's a thing where we look at things and then we say things about things.
I came up with that name. I'm quite proud of it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I think it'll aptly summarize what's going on here. But, you know, we mainly are taking a look at Black Desert, which has been a highly anticipated MMO. And you know me and how I love my MMOs.
Oh, yeah, you can't stop playing them.
All about the Memorpiga, as Yahtzee has coined. So, I think he has. I don't know. I'm just making shit up. That was a weird-ass nosed orc. But we've actually had some of these conversations before because we recorded an entire fucking video. And yeah.
We kind of lost a component of it, so now we have to do it again.
The stars aligned, you know, the prophecy was fulfilled, and the book of old said, fuck you. Why don't
the old ones were indeed awakened.
They said, don't try. Is what they had to say, and then they went back to sleep. So
stop.
Here we go. We're gonna take Black Desert for a spin, as if we didn't do it before, and it'll be fine. Mm-hmm. Actually, I think the main deal here is we like to what's the word?
We like to make characters. Now, I guess I'll explain this component of it. The whole premise of this video, and similarly the premise of any future videos that go under this title, is going to be the elements of design, which can encompass quite a few things, actually.
I gotta pick a server. Udon's a good rapper. I like that. I'll go with this one.
You do that.
Alright, and character creation. Yes.
So, in the case of me and Woolie, one of the things that we actually enjoy that other persons that need not be named don't seem to enjoy quite as much is characterization. Creating characters, trying to create backgrounds for them, figuring out what their personalities are, how they should interact with one another, so forth and so on. Just trying to really flesh out and create a narrative for the people that we're actually playing.
And, you know, from time to time, it takes a little bit more than a minute or two to let this process fully flourish. And, you know, because not everyone enjoys it, I don't subject everybody to it. But remember that coloring the house bit that Matt and Pat did in their old
I remember that.
Yeah, that was based on me actually coloring in the house. So
because that shit is actually fun.
Exactly. And the other thing that's fun is that, like, over the years, as someone who's spent money on bad games with character creators in them just because they had character creators, I've come to notice that there's some hilarious things that you notice from one creator to another. The Japanese games in particular are not often black people friendly, and
no, they aren't.
If you're lucky, you end up with weird Namekian faces with purple and blue hues.
That's true.
In like Soul Calibur or so. But Black Desert has been touted as the best character creator in any game of all time.
Oh, ever, yes.
And I think, in addition to the crazy gameplay that we've seen in, like, you know, whatever, horseback riding and all that fun stuff and happy horse shit, I just want to see what this has going for it. And so we're going to be starting out with picking our archetype, our class.
Now, we discovered this the first time around.
Yeah.
But the game kind of has one or two issues in regards to certain things. Hello again, Chad. How are you?
Chad is back. He's better than ever. He's even more tanned this time than the last time we took a look at him. Because
he's been working out a little bit,
right?
With all the extra can of gel,
and still has no idea what he's doing in a suit of armor, because he should be a few centuries in the future on the Jersey Shore, picking up hotties and hollering and so on and so forth. What the fuck
so
is
if
he?
you haven't noticed from these defaults, there's kind of a common theme in regards to all of these people. Except for maybe the Berserker and the Wizard, probably. But even the Wizard is like a fucking stylish-ass Gandalf. Like, after he's done channeling the old ones or whatever the fuck, he's in the bar picking up ladies.
Yeah.
So even their Wizard is stylish as fuck.
What I was saying before was, like, that robe is way too elaborate and whatnot for, like, an old, dusty wizard. That's a motherfucker that's conning people, and he's got, like, a chain of shops that he's, like, taking shittier wizards under his wing and taking a huge cut of whatever they do to fund his elaborate robe and his feathers and plumes. And look at this thing wrapped around his staff. That's just...
That don't do nothing.
That's just styling. That's just him fucking blinging out his staff because he wants you to know.
He's like, one day he comes back from the shop and he's got that fucking chain. He spends the next hour trying to wrap it around there in fashion. It's gotta look good. This is how I con people out of their money.
Right? You look at these like these elaborate patterns and you're like, oh, these must be like sigils to summon the gods that power him. And it's like, nah, son. Those are intricate patterns that are
old asshole.
I'm just a slick back. Anyway.
He's a bitch. He's a bitch.
There you go. And you've got the Berserker, who is even...
That's pretty much it in regards to ugly characters in this game.
But even then, he's still like rugged and is someone's type. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everyone is someone's type somewhere, even if you don't want to be.
We've got all these little Asian girls.
You got to make sure that you backflip into the camera.
Yeah, I'll buy that. Not as a witch. I think that's a completely inaccurate name for this type of person.
What the fuck is this Robin Egg shit?
Yeah, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not buying that, but I'll buy this as a female wizard, you know? Like, sure.
Yeah.
You've got...
So, one of the things I guess that we should actually get into
Yes.
is the concept of what kind of character are we going to make and why are we going to make a character like that?
Yes, that's correct. And, like, we can't put up appearances that we're going to be stumbling through this because we both know what we like. We both know what we find interesting, and I think the place that we got to the last time we took a look here was pretty much the place we expected to go.
And probably the place that most people expect us to go as well.
Yeah. What's interesting and what's not overdone a lot of the time? Well, female...
Not pretty people.
Yeah, not pretty people. Elderly people, you know?
Specifically, yeah.
And in many cases, women that are both of those things are super undersold everywhere all the time. So it's interesting when you do see them and you can appreciate characters like the boss. And I'm having a hard...
me nodding.
I'm having a hard time even getting a second one right off the bat.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem.
You know?
So especially in regards to this game, it's going to be kind of a challenge. Because we have all these beautiful, beautiful JCPenney models.
Look at this
Vidal
Sassoon over here, right? Just because she's
born
worth
with
it.
Though.
Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know. You know? Maybe it's pre-Christ era Maybelline.
before Maybelline.
Oh God, I don't know. But and of course
before Maybelline era.
And
so trying to make a character that is an old lady that isn't necessarily hot or anything like that, it's going to be kind of a minor problem in this game.
Yeah. And with a little bit of experimentation, even though we did see how robust this character creator does get, we learned very quickly that you are limited highly by the class you pick. And also you are limited by the fact that these Korean people do not want you to make someone ugly.
It's their game.
Yeah.
If you're gonna play our game, you are going to look good. We're not gonna have any ugly people on our screenshots, okay?
That's it. You got to sell it, right? And God forbid someone sees someone that's not a video card character on the cover of an NVIDIA fucking
circa 2001.
You know, God forbid. All right. So all that said, you know, we were just feeling our way through it beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
We have a little.
You might want to go in real fast and show off like hairstyles real fast and some of these.
Yeah.
Just to show off exactly what the source of the contention was.
Sure.
We did this kind of slow the first time around. This time it should be faster. These characters, each of them sort of have restrictions in regards to their class and whatnot. What we were trying to do is find... And hairstyle is a big part of it. Like the first thing that you're going to see whenever you look at someone, going to be face, hair, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And going through all these, you can tell real fast, yeah... None of these really look like a warrior's hairstyle, do they?
None of these look like the hairstyle of someone that lives in the time frame that this world that the game setting is supposed to be like.
Woolie, I'll tell you what. I live in bumfuck nowhere. I've never seen anyone with hair this good in my life.
Right? Like this is like Miami and LA upscale parties at best, and then like by 4 a.m. the hair doesn't look like this anymore. So.
I don't know what it's like in the big city, Woolie, but out here in the country,
mm-hmm.
this is like 180% of the best looking hair that I've ever seen. Whenever you get home in the country, your hair is going to look like a mop head that's been out in the sun for the past 5 years. It's not going to be pretty.
And now, like, it's not even about length or short or long, because I know everyone's going to be like, oh, Woolie's short hair.
Yeah, that's the stereotype.
But it's like, no, it's about how clean it is. Like, this is short, but this is too fucking... What is this Ray Ayanami shit? Like, that's not...
Yeah, even like the way that the hairs curl in perfectly with perfect symmetry.
Yeah.
Right at the base. Oh, she's so pretty. She's my perfect little doll, Woolie.
It's too much.
That's what it is. She's my perfect little doll. I can go into my Japanese video game, and I can make my perfect little waifu, and I can play with her, and I could just love her forever and even be her.
And do my air combos. and get my special epic mounts.
Oh, I'm filling up my meter right now just talking about it. Look how fucking glossy.
Look at that this
shit.
helmet hat fucking It's not a Hime cut, but this is like monk cut, you know? Like weird ass.
I think I've seen it, but it looks like she's wearing a hood.
Yeah, and it's the cut that like a little boy that is like a part of the royal family gets, you know, like a shitty young Joffrey cut, but not actually.
Well, she
Joffrey.
got that before she went to Namek.
Right, and this is all based on her class and so on and so forth. So, each
class has their own different hairstyles.
Yeah, there's nothing there that's going to be working for us today. In the end, after exploring and going through the different limitations and seeing how pretty everything was, I think we found one style that was sort of acceptable as far as just selling a character that's from, look at this world, look at what they're doing, right? These are people that live their lives doing this and then shit and piss outside, and then go sleep, perhaps in a tent if they're lucky, maybe an inn, and then get up and then do this again all day. So their hair is not going to look like this, right?
They're not used to basking in the sun. They're used to basking in just rains of gore and viscera as they split open random goblins or whatever the hell you fight in this game.
And I mean, like, you can always go for the, like, oh, but they're coming from the elven lands, you know? They're the Sylvanesti.
And they're so beautiful, the elves. They come from the trees and give you the gift of them. One of the things that I pointed out last time, and I'll point out again, whenever you're making a character, you can't go into it with the idea of, I am going to make this character.
Right.
You can't do that.
Right.
Every single character creator is different. So one of the issues is that you have to look at what the character creator has to offer you and then make something around that. So one of the things that we ran into real fast, and you can see there's a family name listing down there. And we can't change that.
Yes.
Because the first thing the game asks you is your family name.
What's your family name? Exactly.
And of course we reached the conclusion of, we don't know. Don't ask us yet. Because how can you name your character whenever you don't even have the character yet?
Right, you're exploring and discovering the character you're creating as a process, and the first thing you're asking me to do is give it a name and somehow like direct that, like that final step to step one. And it's the dumbest thing ever, and I hate that in character creators.
I guess you could say, well, you name your fucking baby before you even have the baby. This is what people that disagree with me sound like in all my videos. But I will say one of my favorite things, and we don't really have it, for our culture. I always love the idea of earning a new name, as a rite of passage in some cultures.
Yeah.
I always thought that was pretty cool, because then you actually get like a name that's real for you.
Right.
Because you're known for this, you do this, you're good at this, and that's you from that point on. Whereas you're just a fucking baby. You have a baby name.
Yeah.
And because that name doesn't mean anything.
Just because you were born most deaf doesn't mean you can't become Yassine Bey.
It's true. Just because you were born Woolie doesn't mean that you can't become the boss yourself, I guess.
Sure. But, like that, or a title name, exactly. This was the frustration of we don't know yet, but then we found out, well, at least the first name you can give the character is controlled, and you can do that
That
afterwards.
is an MMO thing. It didn't make it clear what exactly we were naming it, though. But apparently it is a surname that all your characters get, which is sort of a recent thing. I don't know if it's entirely recent, but it's something that MMOs it's been more common. It's more common lately.
So, first things first was you get the clothes off, you get everything off as much as possible, and you try to strip it down to its barest bones.
It's never good, oh, bro, baby. Oh.
Yeah.
No, it's just because you need to make sure that you can actually see what you're working with.
Yeah. And I think we were able to, not the view, what was it? Yeah, we were able to change the background a bit to see what the to see what we were working with in different lighting conditions. And
that's one of the things you have to worry about whenever you're doing a character, because sometimes you'll make a character and it looks just right in the perfect lighting conditions that they give you at the very start, and then whenever you get into the game, it's not going to be perfect lighting conditions, and you can't even see your character, or it turns out they're like 5 times darker than you wanted them to be, or 5 times lighter. You never know. So it's good to have those kind of options.
Yeah, like I look at myself in the mirror I have at home, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. There's no crud in my eyes. That's fine.
Then you go outside, and you're 5 times darker than you thought you were.
I get to Matt's place, and his wife's battle station, as it's called, has these crazy mirrors with hyper lights on them that zoom in on your face and find every flaw and accentuate them, and you're just like, oh my god, I'm hideous.
That's what it's called, a battle station.
It's called a battle
station. Because you're at war
station.
with yourself.
Yeah, that's it. So we want to strip away all the clothes, we want to strip away everything, and start working with the, what was the class I picked here?
I think you're in Ranger, aren't you?
Yeah.
Or you should be.
So we wanted to start creating someone that looked like they came from this setting, and then we figure it out from there. So
now, one of the first things that you really want to do whenever you start with any sort of character is pick a hairstyle that gets things away from their face, so that you can actually kind of see your canvas, as it were.
Now, what's cool is this game does have an updo button to quickly make your hair go up, even no matter what style you pick. But as you can see from all these styles we're giving the choice of working with here, it's just all this perfection. Even though the randomness is perfect here, and it's just it's so frustrating. This is awful. Don't fucking do pigtails. No matter No matter what Pat tells you, don't listen. Do not do pigtails.
Pigtails are forged by the devil.
There's no reason for it, unless you're trying to look younger for some reason. But you're not gonna look the younger you want to look. You're gonna look like a dumb kid.
Pigtails are such garbage. I fucking hate pigtails.
Don't do it.
Ponytails are fine. If those kind of pigtails where it's basically just 2 ponytails at the same time.
Yeah,
that's fine because it's just ponytails.
Yeah, you can believe that someone whatever doing some dirty work is gonna pull their hair back and do that shit. That's believable. That's fine. I think this was the closest thing we got to
I think that was it, and it seems like you can sort of alter some of its length and the position of the hair.
A little of the randomness, exactly.
Yeah. Not too much, though, because then they wouldn't be pretty.
No, and you couldn't get that. Look at that perfect sheen going right over there. You can't. That bang is God himself grabbed the comb and All right. So
he looked at it and said, "Nope, can't do this."
so there's
the
that.
Japanese have nailed it, or the Koreans have nailed it.
So we, before even going into the shape and color, like, we had that. We also are not making a fucking elf, so we're gonna get rid of those ears.
No. Fix her, Woolie.
Yeah.
Get the shears.
Get all of it, man, and then we'll work on the rest. But and then faces, we kind of ran into the same problem, where you're just looking at, like, different versions of whatever her name was, Liv Tyler. You know,
and it just always needs to be perfect.
Like Liv Tyler, and or your name an idol, name an AKB48 member. You know, and it's just like, I just want someone that's kind of normal. You know, someone that's kind of like a 6. You know, just
like I guess like it seems like anytime that you make a character, you don't want, like, you either want a 10 or like a 1 in a lot of cases. Like, you're either going to make someone like, oh, be still my beating heart, or you're going to make like the shittiest
Quasimodo
ogre man that you could ever imagine.
Yeah. You know, and especially an anime has that problem, like, where there's no such thing as an in between. Everyone is hideous or beautiful, and
even if he has something like a Watamote or something,
yeah,
where it's like, oh, they're not pretty at all. They still draw them the same way as everyone else.
Exactly. And the ugly girl who's supposed to be ugly will have, like, a circle button nose, or like she won't have pupils, or she'll have pupils but no, like, white in her eyes in her art style, or something weird like that. Her nose will be picked up and her teeth will be showing. And it's just like
the land of 10s. She's a 9.7. How dare she?
Yeah. Okay, and so, you know, I think, like,
don't worry too much about what you did last time.
No, I'm not thinking about. No. Yeah, I'm not considering that. I'm going over these faces, and I think like, what can I work with? What can I sculpt? You know?
Yeah, because a lot of this you can tell that it's frozen. Like, they want you to. Like, if you're going to adjust this at all, it's going to be very, very minor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can tell just look... It's like you're working with a porcelain doll. Like, if you adjust it at all, the shit's going to crack.
So I think somewhere between this face or this face, you've got the foundation to kind of make a human being.
Yeah, because you're actually looking for things that you can turn into major flaws.
Right. The placement of certain features, like where the eyebrows are landing, and a couple of other things like that, where the nose and mouth are kind of like stretching out. So yeah, we're gonna start there. And then here you go. You got your erase hair button if you need to quickly see the face and do all that work. So that's cool on them. Good job, guys. All right, take it from the top. That's what we got as far as the types go. As far as the types go, and then you got your pretty intense full range of control on every follicle almost of hair.
You can't exactly you can sort of adjust its length in a way, but you can tell it's more you're pushing things up and pulling them.
Yeah, and what I want to do is add mess to it. I want it mussier. I want it random, and I want it out of control. So,
and thankfully, there are some asymmetry options.
Yeah, let's see what we've got to work with. Looking at this controller, we've got okay, we've got to, I guess, pick our part, right? Can we do anything with the front bang? Not even.
Probably not.
Okay. I think we were able to kind of go back and forth, a little bit up and down.
Because you imagine if someone is out there fighting, then they're not going to have perfect hair. Like, they're going to have people grabbing, like, near misses where the blade skims almost across their nose.
Right.
And it shaves off part of their hair.
Okay, we can rotate to make things not be where you know,
even that
you'd
looks
expect
way
them.
better, where you actually can. It seems like the pretty move that they keep doing is the sort of almost split ends where it's curling just right into the face or just away. And if you can get it to stop doing that, at least on one side, it's going to look a little bit more natural.
Yeah, shorten up some of it as well. That's hard to tell what that's doing because the normals are inverting there. And I guess...
And as soon as you get the ears, which that'll be later, but once you get the ears down, you don't have to worry about it clipping either way.
Yeah. I also want to make it like a bad haircut, you know? Like, it was done with a really primitive pair of scissors. And
it was done by her partner out in the field who just so happened to have a field knife.
And it was done
and she's just like, shave this off.
Exactly. And it was done for the purpose of getting it out of the fucking way. And
or she even did it herself. Just grabbed a big fistful of hair and just whoosh, just kataraed the shit out of it. You're not gonna understand that reference. And ended up with a big muss because she just did not care. Because she has work to do, and that's the point.
Exactly. That's who I think we're creating today. Twisting this is not really doing what I want to do. How do I make this less perfect?
That one side actually looks really good now. Or, you know,
yeah, I guess I'm stuck on the
really
yeah, like because I can control this part, but it feels like you can't get rid of this top perfect area, you know? Like there's nothing to do.
You're not going to be able to add anything up there. It's one of the more like if you can draw in my case, a lot of the frustration is going to come from, well, I can do this. You know, I know what I want, but the game is not going to allow me to do it.
Right. Oh, we can do asymmetry, like some asymmetry, like you said. Yeah. This just doesn't make any sense because gravity doesn't work that way. I just want that again to follow gravity a little bit. Don't want to be too picky here. Just go in a little bit. Not that much. What are you doing? This.
You can tell that they really want it to be away from that face. Like they want it to perfectly frame, like the way that it's clipping in the cheek specifically.
Yeah. Okay. I think I don't like that curl over there. Oh, there we go. Found you.
Maybe she's born with it. She was.
In fact, there's no product to add. And if there was, it was like egg white and milk. Mix that shit together in your hair for a while, and what'll it do? It'll make your hair smell like egg white and milk.
It works, but fuck you.
Isn't that what you wanted? What?
When was the last time that you saw a photo of like an Amish couple or something, where no makeup is involved, they're not using any product, they're working.
Yeah, actually, like almost never.
And you see, like I've seen people like that, or just like if you're a woman or you have a girlfriend or something, and they don't wear makeup one day, they wake up and stuff like that, then there's always that moment of like you're dating a girl and she doesn't want you to see her without the makeup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, oh no, what would they think of, what are those things? That's for a reason, because then she would look like a human being. Because we don't fucking grow eyeliner as we hit puberty, all right? Like, we look like shit.
Unless you and you get it tattooed on, like some people do.
Oh, jeez, oh yeah.
What you can do nowadays. But yeah, which is weird as it is, because it's like, are you in a relationship with this person? Then they're going to eventually see something. I don't know. Just wake up and see, like...
I'm going to be honest with you, baby. My body is a nightmare. Like, you don't know what's going on down there. Even I'm not sure half the time.
There might be body parts on the night table when you wake up in the morning. I ask that you just ignore those.
There's a Lovecraftian curse going on in my belly.
So here you got like a curl level, and it seems like you can go from 0 to soul glow.
It doesn't look particularly great, but you could use a little bit so that it actually gives it a little bit more...
imperfection. Yeah. I don't want... Because, again, too much and it looks like prom night, and we're not going for prom night. We're going for just... It's unkempt. And not, like, roguishly, attractively unkempt. Like, actually unkempt.
One of the core rules of making a character using these sliders in any game is do not take the sliders to their extreme, usually. Like, if it starts in the middle, then try to keep it as near the middle as you possibly can, because as you move those nodes around, it'll get locked into position, and that will cause the other things that are attached to it to get really fucked up.
Yeah, I pulled these to the extremes because I wanted those bangs out of the fucking way, and I wanted these higher up as well.
That actually looks pretty good as far as getting the... Like, it looks must now, and it looks asymmetrical.
Yeah,
and it looks like it's actually been used.
Like, what if it wasn't an Aryan highborn? Yeah, okay. Right. There's something there. Now, we can split hairs on the... Oh, yeah, dropping the shine. That was a thing, too.
The oh-so-common use of highlights and of frosted tips in the pre-Maybelline era.
Yes, right? The good old frosted tips of the Dark Ages.
Mm-hmm.
The princess tips.
You can see it just right, but Gandalf, he just... The very, it's pure white at the very end. So it was gray. You had to get it just right, so it fades just right.
Yeah, so the thing that was weird about these swatches was, like, it gave you,
They're not the real colors.
They're not real colors. They, like, what you see here is not what you get in the end. And, like, you get to control the top light, the highlight, and then the tips, but like you're not getting what you see here, and it was very strange. Mm-hmm. So I think,
and as what drove us crazy last time is, don't give us swatches, give us complete RGB control.
Exactly.
Or CMYK, whatever you're doing.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is orange, right? Yeah, the bright ass orange. I'm like, no, but this
fuck
is...
Fuck you, no,
that's not that, This is not
the birth
this.
of a son. Fuck you.
Yeah, it was just out of control. Now we got lightning, and I think like the only thing resembling a human sort of color was it this row? It might have been this row.
It seems like you were using those first 3 swatches on, right there.
Right.
You were using. We skipped over the second one, I remember. Because you said, but let's be real, the only options are 1 and 3.
Yeah, that's correct. No, not to constantly harken back, because it doesn't matter what we did. The point is we're doing it now. And these were the options we were getting. The shine is still way too bright here. Something's not right. Is it the dye? Is there can we get rid of it?
Remember, one, you might be in a different lighting mode, which might be changing it. And also, there is the problem of matching the color to whatever it is that's nearby it. Which, if you've ever seen something on the internet like, look at this picture of a checkerboard, and if you sample it in Photoshop, it turns out it's actually a different color than what you're actually seeing. Or look at this green next to this orange. It turns out, actually, that's not even orange. It's actually like pink or something.
Right.
That if you pair colors with each other, it can play tricks on the eye. So that's why it's kind of important to not go to extremes right away, once you're making your character. And in the case of this character, I think also like skin tone could also be kind of fudging things up a little bit.
Okay, which we're gonna have to revisit. But we know that we're trying to make someone who's, worked the fields and or at the very least spent a lot of time outside. And we haven't stated an age yet, but I'm aiming high. So I want to
someone that's experienced, has been out in the field for a long time, has successes and failures. That kind of person.
Yeah, and basically is now in the business of, killing creatures in war, the business of war, but is in that business due to lots of experience at it. So there's going to be some gray. I want some wingtips, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get back to that. We'll leave it at hair for now.
It's actually good to start with black, even if you're not going to have black hair.
Mm-hmm.
And this just because it frames the area of the face, especially if you're working with a white person, then you're going to end up with enough contrast where you can see what you're working with. It's sort of like if you're working on a canvas, you don't want to be working on a canvas that's on top of a white table or something, because it's going to create enough of a lack of contrast that you might end up kind of screwing up the amount of depth the image has and things like that.
Right, exactly. Now, so far so good on the human color scale, and if you really,
and of course, as you see again, the swatches don't match
they
anything.
do not match what you're getting at all.
Here, have a green person. Oh, they're yellow.
And again, I also blame the fact that 3D and the lighting and the various like blending effects that they're throwing onto these characters. It's probably actually this color, but by the time it gets to us going through
after
all
the
of it,
mapping and everything else,
you know what I mean? Yeah, you're just not going to see it. So it's like I really wish it was more reflective. But
the problem I have with all these is the saturation is always way too high on all of them. And it really bugs me. This is one of the cases where you would want those RGB sliders again.
Yep.
This is the worst thing about swatches.
This is not bad as far as skin tones go. We've got a pretty healthy mix, and so far I haven't seen anything that looks ridiculous in terms like I've seen like vampire pale, but like that's about it.
But for the sake of the character, you don't want someone that's pure, like blistering white.
Yeah. You can also drop this shine a little bit. Because you can go, like, wet and sweating.
So sweaty.
Just work in those fields. Or you can just go, like...
very active.
Kind of a normal person. Well, no normal...
Very excited about the character creation process.
Oh, God. Sweaty is a bit much, so...
Get those matte juices working.
Yeah. Just a little shine. A little bit of shine. Which is pretty much where it was at, I suppose. God, what is... Does it affect... Yeah, it does. Look at that. You are wet.
Surely that's not permanent.
It must be. I mean, it's your skin, right?
Well, you would think that it would be something that they would apply as you come out of water or something.
If you want to...
game effect.
If you want to be Hakan, you can be Hakan. I'll take that. That's fine. All right, so...
Some people are just perpetually sweaty.
Yeah.
I knew a guy. We didn't like him.
Okay, so as someone who's, like we said, in the business of war, and as someone who's been outside, a background that involved manual labor, nothing special or interesting, just the farm, you're not gonna be pale and perfect and beautiful. You're gonna have...
No, we're very ugly people, Woolie. I'll be upfront with you. I'm a hideous monster of a creature. And I was barely in the fields at all.
Yeah.
You should see the rest of my family. It's like I live with a bunch of goblin people. It's terrible.
Yeah. I belong to the race that is often classified as the orcs of humanity. If white people are the generics and Asians are the elves, then what's left? Oh, uh-oh. Whoops.
We kind of are elves. We are really shitty people. We think so highly of ourselves.
It's fine. You pass me my nose bone. Okay, so I was also thinking of someone that was kind of like not mixed, but just that kind of like
not overly distinct, like proto-European or overly. Like, this is African person, this is European person, this is person from India or something.
Yeah, that it's not quite brown. It's a little bit. It's kind of like that Turkish tint, if you would. I'm looking for something around there, and I think that this part of this row might have that option, and not necessarily. Maybe not there. Maybe like that.
That'd be fine.
Yeah.
If I actually had the sliders, is the bad part of it, then I would spend all day just playing with them to get just the right value.
Yeah.
Until I lose my mind when it gets in game and it turns out the colors were all wrong.
Yeah, I wanted a little less red, so maybe over here. But either way, I think that's about the right place.
That looks pretty good. A lot of it also is that she has that lipstick on right now.
Yes.
So that's also kind of mussing up a little bit of what you're seeing, like even the blush.
Let's fucking deal with that right here, right now. Let's just get that out of the way.
Fuck that shit. We've had this discussion before. I detest bright red lipstick. I think actually Matt does too. I feel like I remember him saying that.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose there's a time and place, but ultimately, I prefer, less as well. But I
like it raw.
Well, go ahead. Hello? You were gonna say something?
No, I said that I like it raw.
Raw. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But I kind of like more the gloss look than I do actual lipstick. Sometimes I'm not a woman, so I don't know one way or the other, but I almost get the impression that lipstick is more of a thing for you, like it's for them.
Yeah,
more than it is anything.
Though there
else.
is, I mean, and there is that thing that is like, like, oh, men say they don't want makeup, but then they go like, are you sick? When someone actually has no makeup.
I love the studies that are like
women
sleep? Think on this scale of 1 to 10, like they think that men want a 4, and then they take the male survey and it's like, no, we actually want a 7. And then the reverse is the same thing. They think that, we should all be like muscular He-Man. And it's like, no, just have a little bit of musculature and that's it.
Yeah. I do appreciate that you can be like junior high girl in grade 7 that doesn't know what the fuck she's doing.
Yes.
Like
that looks like that shit that those fake lips where you put it in your mouth and you bite down. That's what that looks like.
That or like blow up doll red, but off please. Thank you.
That looks so much better.
Instantly. And there's already still more makeup going on here. We got some blush that needs to go. Because again, we're not making a little Russian poupée.
I love it whenever like girls do not apply it correctly, and there's this obvious like slanted line, like they look like a fucking party clown because they've been painting it just so. Gotta get the cheekbones that I don't have to lift just right.
Yeah, it's
like, if you don't have it, don't have it.
I mean, I'm not gonna get in. I'm not gonna fucking throw
I won't criticize
the target at
Stop
any.
it.
I'm not getting to that level, but I do subscribe to the fact that less is more. And in a game like this, in this type of setting, because it's not about modern day right now. I'm talking about this character in this world. Why would there be any blush on the cheeks?
Especially like as soon as you get into the game world, what's going to make you look unique is the fact that you don't look like you're going to go on stage and sing your fucking K-pop ballad after you get into a fight.
Yeah, no. In this world, if you want blush, then you've got like a liter of mead in your gut.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you're blush. So, we've got eye makeup here, which we can also turn the fuck off. Or you can go all in on it. And to be fair, like, you can clearly go nuts with it.
What is that dot shit? What was that? Why?
Yeah, I don't...
Why would anyone do that? And like, what is that Harlequin shit?
Mirror's Edge. Yeah, I don't know.
No, that's true.
If you wanted to make the Baz someday, you probably could. if you're going that extreme. But, or like, yeah, cat. Like cats make up the fucking play.
But if you're making someone that looks worn, you can actually use something like this to sort of create the illusion of bags under the eyes.
Yeah, that's true. Is there anything where it's like just underneath maybe to play with?
Probably not. Well, there's
that
like that, yeah.
And just dropping its density. And then we'll see. We'll refine a little bit more.
And allowing it to keep a little, like, you don't want it to be completely black unless you have to.
Yeah.
Like, usually you don't go completely black on things like this because it needs to actually blend with the skin tone, and something that has no saturation value at all is not going to do that. Whereas you can tell from this, they obviously want to give you the dumb pop star look, where you can make your bright green eyeshadow or whatever the hell people use.
Yeah.
But usually you want to use something like a red or a brown so that it actually, because that's what skin tone is,
if you want to create the illusion of like tired eyes, that's what should be the case. There's a redness that's happening here that I can't get rid of, and I don't know why. I don't know what's causing that. You see it?
A redness?
There's a redness to what's going around here, and even still a little bit of blush too. Is it just the lighting? Maybe it's the shine.
What swatch are you on right now? Are you still using black?
No, I've moved it onto these flesh tones here.
Go through it again real fast. Like, select and select off.
Black. Flesh.
You might just have to use Are there no darker colors other than... What about those darker reds on the side? Like that. Man, still not
Nothing.
much of a difference.
The only thing you see is really like black or like nothing, you know, in a way.
Well, as we said, you got to work with what the game gives you, and sometimes if they
Mm-hmm.
decide for themselves that you're just not going to look a certain way, you're not going to look a certain way.
Okay, so I wanted to let me make this a little bit less shiny. There we go.
The shine lost its luster for you.
It did. Now you can go to town like the rhinoplastician. What's the word? Rhinoplastis? God.
Fuck, I don't know, Wooly. You're asking me city people terms.
Like the plastic
My term
surgeon
is fucked up face.
that I am. You can turn symmetry off, which is good.
You got to be careful with that, though.
You do, and I'm not making a fucking that's no, you know what I mean? Like
the worst is whenever you don't have the reset button.
Yes, an undo button would be better.
Mm-hmm.
But we work with what we got. So,
can you imagine a creator that it was like Photoshop and it had a history, and it logged like your last like 10 or so inputs, and you could just go back like 7.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy. So reset part there. So let's start bringing these down, because the first thing I want to see is tired wisdom. Not really wisdom, but more tiredness.
Well, the wider that you make the eyes, the bigger that you make the eyes, the more youthful. Like, our brains are sort of wired to see these sort of things. The younger that you're going to appear to be. So the narrow, like even in anime, like whenever you see an adult in anime, what's the difference? Their eyes are smaller.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
They have they have like tiny little slit eyes for really no good reason. And it's just because young people have big eyes. Older people have little tiny shitty eyes because we can't see so good anymore.
Yeah, and there's something about, like, there's also something about it that creates a more aggressive character.
Or a more seductive one.
Oh, la la, you're
Get
right.
some of that play guys in there. One of my main criticisms is always drawing the same eyes over and over again.
Right. Like if
I like those eyes.
Like reading Vagabond, you know, like you see that guy never uses the same pair of eyes twice on a character, like even if it's in the background, unless it's a married.
That's actually super hard to do, especially if you're using a reduced style.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, it's a manga, and like, but it's my favorite, but it's just like it's the type of thing where like he'll have like an old married couple that'll look similar, but for the most part, you'll rarely ever see the same pair of eyes twice. You know, and like that on its own just creates such a unique feeling for like everyone that you encounter, and like he really, Vagabond is a really good example of like using thin eyes to like convey a lot. So we're gonna play around.
It's easier said than done. Whenever you're designing a character and you like if you're doing reduced style like that, then actually like trying to come up with the eye, like eyes are a big component. Like you usually start with the eyes, whether you're drawings. Like if you're drawing a human face, then you obviously want to start with the basic shapes and everything first. Once you get into actual detail and worrying about trying to convey things correctly, you start with the eyes because, you know, eyes, windows to the soul, blah, blah, blah. More importantly, that's one of the first things that you're going to be drawn to, like immediately. Like people like eyes.
Right.
That's just what we're programmed to do. So you need to make sure that that shit is right. So whenever you're designing a character and you're just working with like sometimes just like 4 lines and that's all you get for doing an eye, then, you know, just like how much curvature does the top one have and where do they intersect can be insanely aggressive. And because there's been so many variations of it through so many different artists, then you could accidentally end up making someone's like, oh, that looks like Goku's eyes, or oh, that looks like Lupin eyes or something.
Right.
It's super easy.
And because I haven't been able to age her just yet, I'm squaring off the jaw a little bit because again, you're not perfect. You're not a super pretty little flower. You've got a little bit.
I kind of like jaws on women myself.
You like a strong jaw, do you?
A little bit.
I don't necessarily, but like I'm not trying to make someone I'm attracted to.
Well, like I told you once before, I've had situations where I will make a character. And people will complain, well, why she gotta look like a man? Why she gotta look like a man? Because she has a jaw. It's like there's nothing there. And then they'll show me this is how it should look. And I told you, there's nothing there. It's just a slope, like from the nose that goes straight down to the neck.
This is a pretty impressive level of jaw control, I gotta say. Like,
it actually is, yeah. Maybe not that one.
Yeah, you can do.
We're gonna make someone that's not perfect. You don't want to make him a terrible
Simpsons character.
Of justice.
Yeah, exactly. This is weird, and I need to fix that.
Don't want to make Jay Sherman.
Okay, let's get that fade away. What's happening again? That looks, again, still a little weird.
One of my favorite minor imperfections to give characters is actually long noses, or just long faces in general. Maybe it's just because of the drawing. It's actually a lot of fun to draw characters like that.
Long noses as in, like, protruding outward, or as in just, like
imagine,
in profile?
Imagine, I'm thinking my own characters. Just imagine, like...
Tintin?
Like, I was talking like Lupin. Like, they have very aggressive facial features. Like,
yeah.
Old anime male characters specifically are like that.
Yeah, Escaflowne.
Very aggressive geometry.
Escaflowne is like, everyone's got giant-ass noses in that.
Those can be a lot of fun. I never got into like a Mr. Magoo levels of holy shit, what is happening to their face, like the hyper cartoon character level.
Right. The one thing that you do the more you touch the nose, like, you're straight up controlling their ethnicity.
That's true. Yeah.
You get a huge vibe of that off of it.
Noses are actually super difficult to work with in creative characters.
I feel like we're almost making like Anya right now from Indivisible in a way, but like like just a hyper realistic one in some ways, and it's not necessarily where I'm aiming to go, but it's just what we've got. What is happening? These lips are pulling a little strangely.
You also want to keep things don't. Like, I'm not saying abide by ethnicities or anything like that, but if you're going to give your character, like, big, wide, expressive eyes or something like that, you probably shouldn't give them, like, very tiny features everywhere else. Like, there is a certain degree of uniformity in regards to even, like, real-world ethnicities and imaginary ones. So kind of keep that in mind whenever you're making a character like this. That if you're going to have, like, a wide nose, for example, then, that happens for a reason. Like, it's because of genetics, for one thing. But so they're probably going to have a little bit more exaggerated features everywhere else, too.
Yeah. Also, time to fucking get this shit off. I know.
Thank you very much, yes.
I know there's a way. Somewhere.
I have a rather infamous hatred of elves, myself.
Do you? Okay.
Yes.
Like, it's not just a hatred for me, I'm just exhausted.
Yeah, we've been over this before. Like, we both do not really care too much for Tolkienism.
Like, Tolkien did it, and that was fine.
Well, he compiled it. Like, he took shit from every culture that he could find and just threw it into a bucket and it's like, okay, it's organized. Here's the mythos. But
ultimately, he did it. And there it is. Now, what else you got?
Right.
And
that's a big thing with me. I want to see, like, people have, like, I've this is kind of a tangent. Like, I've complained about Berserk references in Souls games.
Right.
And that's not because I hate Berserk. It's because, what do you have? Like, what's your idea? If I look at something and I wonder, ooh, what's that? And someone says, oh, it's from panel so-and-so of Berserk. I wonder, well, why is it in here? Is it, well, he just likes Berserk. It's like, I don't care if he likes it. Like, what idea what imagery did you make up?
Someone's not too happy with the title Dark Souls.
Well, it used to be, the original title was Dark Hole, actually.
Dark Hole?
Yes.
Really?
And, they were told you might not want to use that because that might have some other connotations you're not aware of, Japan.
God! From, like, as if, like, Demon's Souls is bad enough.
They're trying super hard.
Man, they really had a...
They have a hard time.
They're struggling with the English language, boy. Alright. I'll take Dark Souls then, never mind.
It could be worse. Could be much worse.
And I'm not gonna lie, like I hear what you're saying, but I did the first time someone pointed out to me like, here's that panel of whichever character it was saying.
Well, it's fine to do it here and there.
You know, like your Dark Souls, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Okay, because I like Berserk. But yes, elves in general overdone because like there are thousands of now elves that are all just token elves, not doing anything else or anything.
Like one of the whenever I was my little budding writing career that I almost had, but like the animation stuff took off whenever I was in the midst of writing novels and trying to get those published. But a lot of people are asking, like, what kind of stuff do you like? Do you read fantasy? And I would say, no, I do not read fantasy. Because if you walk down a fantasy aisle at a bookstore, the only thing you're going to see is just, here's my take on what dwarves would be like in the future. Here's elves number 489. Here's more fucking dragons that you can shake a stick at. Every cover has dragons on it.
Plague, it's your favorite sliders.
It is.
Here they are.
Just a little, just to convey the idea.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah, that's it. Like, we were so worried that
it's not my favorite slider. That'll come a little bit later.
Sure, but this is I'm happy that it's here.
The thing that actually sells it.
Yeah, because otherwise everyone would be young and perfect, and there'd be no avoiding it, and it would have been the worst.
Oh, thank goodness there actually is this setting.
But here we are.
It should look so much better now.
Yeah. Definitely looks like annoyed at your existence a little bit.
Looks like a human being. Looks like someone that's actually seen some shit, but can't be bothered to address it anymore.
Exactly. Seen some shit and just is fucking had it with you and your garbage, wasting her time.
Have you already done the mouth features?
I haven't touched.
Okay. Yeah.
I haven't touched the mouth yet. What?
It's kind of interesting that it's actually sort of naturally made a frown then. Because
yeah,
it's like last time that's where we got it from, and now it's already doing it.
Because I slid the mouth muscles around, and this jaw, because like the moment you kind of do that, but like no, we're just kind of naturally getting it here.
Just wait until the game starts trying to make her do expressions and forces her to make the most unfitting smile for her character ever. Oh, jeez.
It's so weird.
It doesn't look as bad as last time, but holy shit.
Yeah, but it's definitely.
And of course, thankfully, you can adjust the strength at which you get these.
Yeah, these are at maximum. These are all at maximum strength.
Yeah.
But it's like, do this weird thing where you kind of pretend to be happy. How about that? It's like, maybe not. But yeah, I the fact that there is a slider for it does save it.
People don't really make exaggerated facial expressions all that much.
No, but when you draw with exaggerated facial expressions so that you can back it off a little bit.
Like, that's the part of where people say, oh, you draw all your characters to look super sexy, and you draw them extra thick, and it's mainly just because I'm used to exaggerating features, and it sort of naturally happened over time.
There's nothing here for us.
No.
There's
you can use
all.
things like this, especially if you have like a stripe across the face or something like that. One trick I will tell you, since you played Dark Souls 2, that people, like black people that were playing the game, were like, I can't make a black person, of course, So a trick came about that there was a single tattoo that was just a round shape. It was just a sphere, and people were taking that and overlaying it and blowing it up to maximum size and just overlaying it on top of their face and setting the opacity down to 15% or something with a very deep brown or something like that to actually give it sort of a more natural looking black person's skin tone, since Japanese don't know what a black person is.
Interesting.
And it sort of worked. Just don't take off your shirt or else it's super obvious.
And these are the hoops we have to jump through.
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay, so we've got eyelashes. If you want to have your,
It actually is it's even difficult to draw like a black person because the subtleties of actually trying to get the details just right are a little bit more aggressive than with someone that has like no facial features at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're drawing, like anime does this a lot, where the nose is just a dot.
Yeah, like
you can't do that with a black person.
You're drawing a
a
me character, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember Charles Schultz, whenever like the creator of Peanuts.
Yeah.
He was asked, how come you don't have any black characters in your comic strip? And of course, he eventually, what's the black character's name?
Oh God. Yeah.
I can't remember offhand.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy. That's good.
Token.
But he eventually did introduce him. But the reason why is because if you're working in black and white, because a comic strip in a newspaper, they can't use like gray. They have to use black or white as ink. How do you make a black person? And the answer to that is you have to use cross-hatching and stippling, which is like very intensive work. And he eventually did it. He eventually made a character. And if you look at his drawings, they're all cross-hatched. Like it's not even completely filled in. It's like the only character that actually looks like it has lighting on the dude.
Right. I mean,
it's
like,
just way more difficult.
But they already had Pigpen, who was dirty all the time, and he was cross-hatched as well. So.
Well, he just has a few cross-hatches here and there, because of the dirt. Cross-hatches mean dirt, Woolie.
That's true.
Or if you've been into a fight, you get cross-hatches all over your body.
Right. I wonder if some asymmetry on her mouth can create.
Yeah.
Well, you can make someone like do a smirk.
Right now, it just looks like sort of an expression, like she's half amused.
Yeah. No.
See what happens like right now whenever you give her an expression, like using the expression thing that we were looking at earlier, just to see what happens.
Because now she's neutral, so I guess going happy would be. Well, yeah, taking to 100. There you go. Exactly. So.
Yeah, it doesn't really affect it that much.
No, it seems like it just moves the vertices around where they're supposed to be to make that mouth make sense.
Yeah, it probably has just mathematical coordinates, and they're just like head here.
Mm-hmm. So that's fine. We can work with it neutral there. Although like having the not full on frown, but just slightly. Yeah, just slightly.
Everything's in moderate. Like that's boner inducing to me when things are not. They're at like 25%.
Yeah.
Or 38.
Absolutely.
Oh god, yes.
Oh wow.
Is it fucking snow? What's going on?
Yeah, stars or snow or sky. Yeah, this is a background that I didn't notice that before.
No, I didn't notice it either.
Okay.
Oh, she's so wise, Woolie. Staring up at the stars
and not beyond
her bra and panties.
And not beyond not wise beyond her years. Wise to her years.
She doesn't
Which no one ever says.
She doesn't want to buy a boat. She did buy a boat. She's thinking about it.
It was overrated.
Yeah. The boat solved nothing.
Okay. The only other thing I want to do here is work those eye colors down to something a little more muted as well, because bright green is nice and all, but that's not who I'm thinking of. That's all.
And you think this would be easy, but well, especially if you get into heart-shaped pupils and stupid stuff like that.
Yeah, God, yeah.
But if you're making a character look older, don't make them blind or anything, obviously.
No, I want slight cataracts.
Right. But one of the things, like people's eyes over time, even if they don't have like a medical issue or something, then their eyes can actually sort of fade a little bit. So if you give them sort of not bright, vivid colors and not low saturation colors, but kind of what Woolie's doing here, where you can fade something on top of the, you can sort of mask a little bit of it to where it's not completely black, it's just sort of blending out a little bit, almost like the signs of like a cataract that's going to happen in about 20 years.
It's
then it sells the idea a lot more.
Where's I just want like a kind of a hazel or a brown. Good old boring generic eye color.
I have black eyes, Woolie. It's terrible.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't. Well, they're actually like if you look really, really close, then they're sort of like kind kind of a shitty, dark brownish, greenish sort of color, but they're black.
Yeah, like I know, like Liam's big blue eyes. Like he's anytime like
fuck you, Liam. Fuck you.
Anytime, like the art gets the color off, like he's super touchy about it. Like he's
I'm
like,
gonna make his fucking eyes red.
he's always like, no, they're supposed to be blue.
No, I'm gonna make one eye green. I'm gonna make
heterochromia.
Yeah,
everyone
so
loves
unique.
that.
It's not overdone.
Okay, what am I looking for?
If I remember, I think if I do another title card, I'm definitely gonna do that. Shh, no, don't tell him. Don't tell him, chat. We're not streaming right now. Don't tell him, not Twitch.
YouTube.
YouTube commenters. Shh. I love the painted-on brawl straps, by the way.
Oh god, yeah, this
with
texture
the obvious
right
aliasing.
Yeah. So I do appreciate the fact that you can straight up like you can totally change the mood of a character by dropping the size of their iris quite a bit.
And the reason for that is whenever someone is very mad, then their eyes will open up to the point where you can see a lot of white in their eyes. That can denote anger, it can denote fear. So whenever you're drawing or whenever you're making a character like this, if they're going to be, especially if it's something that you're going to be seeing far away a lot, because that's one of the reasons why MMOs have these very elaborate, over-exaggerated expressions, is because you're not zoomed in on their face all the time. You're not going to see it. So having a lot of extra white in someone's eyes, like in this case, can really sell more the idea of what their personality is like.
In my experience, seeing a lot of white at the eyes has often sold the idea of crazy bitch. So,
I've had that experience as well.
So it can convey a lot of different things. It's quite a powerful tool for that.
Evolution has crafted the master stroke of a crazy bitchness in the form of white eyes.
Yep, and if that's what you're looking for, there it is, right there.
Enjoy.
Yeah, I don't like how all these even this Hazel's is like just so intense. Like I need to back that off a bit.
Look at these fucking quilt patterns they're giving you for the eyes.
Yeah, on the lens, yeah, it's really intense.
There's the closest major city to me is the quilt capital of the world, and we actually have a quilt festival every year.
Oh god, just fucking shoot me now. Are you serious, man?
Yes, I'm dead serious. One time, Sinbad, actually, the comedian Sinbad.
The comedian Sinbad went out to the quilt festival, you say?
He did, because he was actually on tour, and you could tell he was just not having it. Like, where the fuck am I? Was his opinion. And he said, I'm not even going to do he did not do his bits at all.
Right.
Like, he had nothing that night. All he did was stand up on stage and talk about how frustrated he was with the quilt festival and how confusing it was to him as a black man.
Who on the fucking board of directors decided that inviting Sinbad of famous TV show Sinbad fame
during the quilt festival things?
God.
Yeah, come on down. It'll be a good time.
Does he just live in the area? He must live in the area.
No, I think it was one of those. I think how they set it up is he was like in Chicago or something, and probably going down to like Memphis or something. It's like, there's a city that's sort of not tiny in the way, so we're gonna be sleeping here anyways.
I can't believe
he's probably on tour.
Why are these lips still kind of shiny? Is that just me? Maybe it's
you
just
gotta
me.
be pretty, Woolie. Gotta have those kissable lips.
It's fine.
So that every time that you log in over in Japan, that you can, I wish she was real. Come on, robots. Come on.
There's something about them that's just still looking a little bit shiny, and I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna leave it alone because I can't figure it out. Okay. Now I feel comfortable-ish with what we've got here. I can play with the wrinkles for hours. I really could, but I think we can move on just a little bit. We can go back to the hair, and we can try to get that sorted out.
Funny thing is that, like, you sort of almost have to exaggerate the wrinkles, because whenever you zoom out, you lose almost all of the resolution.
Damn, you are super right on that. Like, especially with this lingerie and fucking look like the sexy leggings going on here.
Look how long her legs are. No, leave it there. Look how long her legs are.
Yeah.
They're longer than her entire body.
All right, let's do some quick mental math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and a half heads high.
Damn, girl.
You a clamp character. You a clamp girl. That's what I like.
Imagine how terrifying a person like this would actually be in real life.
Oh my god, yeah, no. Like any character from Clover or X1999. That
Here comes Stilts.
You fucking just, it's the most just looking at their skeleton itself is horrifying. But yeah, you're right. All those details disappear the moment we zoom out, and we just get this weird kind of Casca blob. So let's try to fix that by making.
You can't. It seems like you can't adjust the body proportions.
Yes, but we can definitely get get the wrinkles up a little bit so that they stand out.
Whenever you do it, it also adds some of the gloss or the glare a little bit.
Does it?
I think.
I'm not seeing it.
Change the brow again. Maybe that's what I'm looking at. Okay, that's what's happening, yeah. It's just that it's creating enough of a shadow that it kind of exaggerates the gloss.
Right. And I'm not making a Klingon, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
There's Star Trek Online if you want that sort of thing. Make your perfect Klingon waifu.
We really don't. That's... not today, at least.
I made a ship full of cat ladies.
You fucking... Of course you did!
Yes,
yeah, you fucking did, god damn it. Oh, Christ.
I took them on a mission into Borg territory, and they all exploded. It was terrible.
Alright, we can pick our character's personality based on their horoscope, and it's their fucking... What fictional star was she born under? Rational, disciplined, methodical, dreamer, ambitious, swift observer. Again, maybe not that type.
And at this point, you should have sort of a rough idea of who the character actually is, what their personality is like.
Yeah.
That's a cute owl.
Yeah, I believe we were talking about how owls are actually stupid despite being signs of wisdom.
Like, I really like owls. Like, I generally despise birds, ducks, etc. Joke.
Yeah.
But, like, I really like owls. They're like just flying kittens most of the time. But owls' symbols of wisdom are actually usually very, very stupid. I don't just mean like very like koala levels of stupid. Can I talk about koalas? How they're like one of the worst. They're probably like they win the trophy for worst animal.
But they're so cute and fuzzy, Plague. Why would you hate? Why would anyone hate a koala?
Especially whenever their asses are covered in shit and they're screaming in the worst, like, god-awful noise you ever heard at one another as they're trying to murder each other.
I'm sure
there are 22 hours of sleep per day.
I'm sure there are facts that you have that the world doesn't, that amplify and justify your hatred. Okay. How do we get rid of this fucking weird-ass weirdo? We need to... Yeah, that's what we need to do. Thicken out that booty.
Widen those hips, Woolie.
That gap, right? That the girls are all looking for these days. Okay. Height. Just please, like, first things first. Just pull it all down. Just everyone calm down a little bit.
Don't get too aggressive with the boobs. Remember what happened last time?
Yeah, we kind of
all those dead children.
Yeah. We just want to pull everything. No, we just want to calm everyone down and just relax a little. There.
Well, it's a ranger. So it has to be a really tall elf.
Of course.
Elves are really tall. Did you know that, Woolie? Elves are very tall.
They're slender.
And they have blonde hair.
And
that's what they're going to be. If you don't like it,
only if they're Qualinesty. If they're Sylvanesty, they have silver hair.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
now, I do like dark elves, but for different reasons.
Yeah, sure, in an edgelord kind of way, I suppose. But then Drist came along, and now everyone's just Drist.
In an edgelord kind of way. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, that's fine. This stance is like already not really what it needs to be, and I wish I could get rid of these leggings, but so be it. All right.
What are the leggings even for?
Why? I wish I could tell you. I really do. This height slider, I can't even move it, and it's not because of the adjustable parts button. I just actually don't know. There's just... Oh, there we go.
What?
Oh, there we go. Okay, never mind. Now we can manually do that.
Did you have to select in the area of the box?
I had to not click on a part and click on, like, just click off of her so that we get a whole body selection.
Okay.
And we got our jiggles there, of course, so they did their research.
Of course, yeah. How can you enjoy a game without jiggles?
And here we go. Is this your favorite slider, Plague?
Not quite. Well, it's getting close. You don't want it to be too exaggerated. You want just enough thickness.
But
actually, my favorite sliders are right below. You see that, Woolie?
I see that. We're getting there. Now, the thing is that this is, I mean, look, how well fed is this person, right? She's worked on the farm. She's eventually found her way into some sort of military service, perhaps after leaving the farm because the farm life is shitty. And
it is.
And after years and years of doing it and getting paid for it, she's fed. She's not starving or anything, but like After
a few years of hooking up PTO, she's gotten pretty tired of it, and she decides to go into military service, and there she still is performing manual labor, in addition to actually fighting. So she's going to have a little bit of thickness, but that thickness is going to help with adjusting the levels of muscle that she's going to have as well.
Right. Probably, like, shot out a shitty kid at some point, thought it was a horrible idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like, regretted it.
Probably only one. Just one.
And, like, didn't regret it immediately, but just, like, fucking went, well, I tried that. Ain't doing that shit again. And, that kid's off like, yeah, I'm not dealing with her shit.
And to deal with the actual background of the character. Like, we don't know what the game world is going to be. But we have a general impression of what the character is like. And we haven't completely completed her just yet, but this is pretty much what we're going to end up with. So just taking a look at her, like, what's her personality like, Woolie?
So this is someone who is not going to be dealing with your shit, obviously, but at the same time, but not in the generic typical, like, oh, she's a tough badass kind of way. It's more just like, again, it's more just kind of a sense of exhaustion and sort of like, yeah, I know, I've been there, I've seen that. You're telling me a story that I've not only heard before, but I've lived it. And,
especially after years of taking orders as presumably military something or other, then I'm sure that she's just grown wary of people bothering her with minutia. Oh, Jesus.
Calm down.
You can... Yes, Woolie, yes.
Now, it's just, like, you're looking at...
But yeah, as far as her personality goes, one of the things that really drives me crazy about female characters in particular is, like, there's always this of course, a modern need for a strong female character. And a lot of people don't understand what that means. There's various mistakes that people always make. The most common one, yes.
Go on, play.
The most common one that people make is, you see this a lot in like American cinema, is they don't give the character a personality. They just make them kick everyone's ass. Like they Black Widow the character.
And kicking ass is a personality.
They just flip around. Yeah. They're better than all the men. They just have like waves of soldiers come at them and they just beat them up and they strike cool poses. Oh, they're so strong female character, right?
Yeah.
No, that's not a character. That's just action. It's just an action scene. They're just a doll at that point. It's the same problem. Instead of making them cook and clean, now you are posing them in action figure poses. They're still adult. You're not resolving anything. The other kind of strong female character kind of problem that you run into is what you were just talking about, where they want to make the character like the bad kind of boss. Like the good thing about the boss was that she was a tough old broad, but she was actually she was secure in herself. She still had her femininity. But it no one element of all that actually controlled her and defined who she was as a person in the first place.
Right.
And she actually had flaws, and she actually had ambitions, and she evolved as a character. And even during the penultimate scene of Snake Eater, she was still changing as a person, still teaching, still developing as a person right in front of you. That's a strong female character. Just having them be, oh yeah, the big meaty thighs is what sells it. But just having a character just flip around and grunt and just be a badass, that's not the same thing as developing someone.
Yeah, exactly. So we were thinking about we're trying to come up with the personality traits that this kind of person would have and the reasons why she would have them. And again, to me, I can get to the type of person she is based on the reasons, or based on what she's gone through in a way. And this is what's the fucking class again? I keep forgetting it.
Ranger,
right? It's a ranger. So the moment we go to try to put some clothes on her, we're getting
I forgot about that.
Jesus,
how fitting for her.
Yeah, right? We're getting our floral little elven princess is what we're getting.
People wonder, why do you complain so much about being able to dress up and so forth and so on? It's because of this kind of shit. Where you especially a vertical grind in games where there's a best armor or something and it looks like trash on your character. I hate that.
Look how just weird and unfitting every outfit is except for this one.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, this will do. I wish I could customize a little bit more.
You can get rid of the helmet. At least.
Yeah, we can do that. And it's okay, so here we go. This is someone we're looking at. It's because
they're so dialed into the idea of rangers are these pretty elves, so they need bright, vibrant, foresty colors. Because all rangers are at one with nature, right?
Right.
That shit. I hate it when people typecast classes. Just classes in general. I don't like classes and things.
Now,
if I pick up a bow and I can train myself to use it, I should be able to use it.
Yep. In this case, she's rocking a bow. Let's say, her father trained her to use it. Mm-hmm. Let's say that she used it to hunt animals and little fucking shits that you'd bring back for
undesirable ethnic groups and so on.
Yeah, sure. At a nice young age, because
her father Waka,
farmer daddy was
he was a teacher. He wanted to make sure that she actually was. She was not just a weak-willed woman. He didn't want to raise someone like that. Neither did her mother. I would imagine that she would have not very capable parents. She's just an ordinary person, of course.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that they would know that they can't just farm forever, and they would want to make sure that she was well-equipped to deal with whatever life had to give her.
Yeah, I mean, they intended to farm forever because that was their thing, and that was it. But
that's the nature of farming. My family's been farmers for just generations and generations, even before whenever we were over in Scotland, and before that in Ireland. We're just a bunch of shitty farmers, and that's what we did. And I'm the first generation where we just stopped doing that.
Because we can't control every element of the clothing, the torso's fine, these pants are fucking ridiculous. And the fact that you can see her sexy leggings underneath are also...
What is the function of that anyways, Woolie?
Harder to put on. More annoying.
I guess it makes you focus whenever you wake up in the morning. You don't know what the fuck the day's gonna give you. You might as well spend an hour trying to put your fucking pants on.
Lots of clasps for you to deal with. Yeah, sure. Anyway, fucking shitty, stupid pant situation going on aside. And I wouldn't be surprised if around the back there was another fucking a third opening of some kind. Is there? No, there isn't. Okay.
There's the old-fashioned pajama opening at the bottom,
Right.
where you can drop the buttons.
Yeah, and then there's this like pseudo thong thing happening here.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just
It makes no sense to me either.
give her just, whatever. I can't find farmer pants. I'm sorry. She's Hammer Horoscope. She's
No farmer has ever worn those, Woolie.
she's brave, conservative, righteous, collaborative, hot-blooded. Not necessarily hot-blooded, but definitely will tell you to fuck right off.
I can sort of imagine, like, if she got into a big fight or something, like in the middle of conflict, that might come out of her.
Yeah, she isn't someone that is like commanding her own army. Certainly, she hasn't risen up the ranks that high. But
she's not a commander. She never wanted that for herself.
But she's definitely good enough with her goddamn tools to, to stay on the payroll enough to like pull a little bit of rank and still be around at this age doing the job because she's fucking good at it. But anything above like telling a couple of people that also have bows and arrows anything outside of like ordering them around is like too many people, too much going on.
With
too
her,
many.
it kind of all just comes back to her personality. Like, she was kind of like my deal. Like, I was raised on a farm, and even though I don't farm, I still have like elements of that where I want to live a simple life. I want to not, have a very complicated. Like, I don't want to move to a city. I don't want to do all these other things that people say, well, that's normal. Why aren't you doing this?
Right.
And it's just because of my background. Like, I still retain a lot of the sort of foundational sort of personality traits that were developed among, huge amounts of generations before me. And, everyone's like that, but, she's kind of the same way where, she doesn't want to be a fucking general. Maybe she is capable of doing that, maybe she isn't, but she doesn't want that. And I feel like that she's kind of driven by what she wants for herself. Like, the reason why that she would pop out one kid and that's all she wanted is because, she wanted that experience for her. She almost felt like it was expected as she got older or something. But she realized that really she just wanted to be her and just live this life that she had chosen for herself. Like, she's a fighter not because this is best of a life that she's ever gonna. She just wants to be that. That's what she wants.
And the thing is too is like that kid, like in all likelihood, probably again grew up and pieced the fuck out as soon as possible because she's not the greatest mom. She's not sticking around to really like.
Now, she's not sitting down and having a heartfelt discussion. She's not like fucking Garnett or something. She's not gonna have a sit on my knee.
Yeah.
Billy or whatever the hell your name is. She wouldn't know what its name is. She's the kind of person that would have the kid and kind of ignore it in a way. Like, the kid can do his own thing. She would probably raise a kid like that and think it's a good idea. But then the kid would grow up and say, you never connected with me at all. Like, you never gave me any attention. She said, I wanted that for you. I wanted to make sure that you didn't feel compelled to do the same thing I did or something. Like, she would make mistakes like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the child would be like, fuck you, I'm going to the farm. I'm becoming a farmer. In a nice, sweet, delicious piece of, like, irony.
Yeah.
So, and like, whoever the poor sap is that she, like, liquored up enough one night to fall for it, is clearly not in the picture.
Yeah, that's anyone's guess who exactly that was. Maybe it was a partner that she had worked with. Maybe it was just some guy. I get the impression whether she just, like, she probably picked well or whatever you want to say. But it's not something that was, like, super important to her, like, oh, this needs to be my life partner. I'm going to fall in love. And,
exactly, yeah.
She did it for her.
And she did it, like, full and well knowing, like, the end result as well. Like, all right, let's give this a shot.
She kind of strikes me as someone that she wouldn't be afraid of that. Like, oh no, can I raise a child alone? She would probably approach it as this is just one more like fight. Like this is just one more victory for me. Like it's just a struggle that I can overcome.
Yeah, like, well, or you know, like I said, straight up, like, let's squeeze one out, let's see what happens. That's apparently what I'm supposed to do. All right, give me some sort of sense of fulfillment or some shit.
Yeah. You think she ever really found fulfillment in her life?
I think she came to the conclusion that, like, fulfillment doesn't exist. And I think she probably, like, accepted that. Like, I don't think, it's not that she found it, I think she'd likely come to the conclusion that it's like, it's not getting much better, and doesn't mean you have to be cynical about it, but it's like, if you're chasing fulfillment, you still don't get it yet.
A lot of adults are like that, because that's kind of one of the secrets of growing up, is you kind of discover that life is sort of about moving from one thing to the other. You never really stop and stagnate in one position, and you're just happy there forever. Where you marry and have your, 2.5 kids, and you just exist until you die. Like, people aren't really like that.
It's and then you have to, again, and like, now take that, like, modern day attitude and then reverse it back to whatever year this was in, of like
pre-Maybelline, yeah,
right, 1,000 years ago perhaps, and move it into a dimension where you've got monsters and like other races and other kinds of creatures and so on, and it's like there's just so much other shit happening that the idea of like being happy and fulfillment and being fulfilled and living a like,
oh, that's an entirely modern concept. Like
yeah, like you can only
like
get
things
there
like
once
true
you have
love.
nothing, you have no threats and you have nothing chasing you. Like when you're, the Greek and Roman philosophers only became philosophers because the society didn't have bears to fucking deal with anymore. You have enough boredom that you can stop and sit and think.
Like,
so,
it's very easy. Like, modern society has all these things where everyone's opinion is valid, and everyone deserves to be happy, and everyone deserves to find true love, and there's someone for everyone. All these little modern things that are borderline platitudes,
right? That
exist because we no longer have to live like shitty dirt people, where we're just trying desperately to survive. The more that we develop as technologically and culturally, and the less major concerns we have, the more we can start making up new things that don't really even exist to complain about, which I made a career out of doing.
Yeah.
And with her, the whole, like, especially like even just 100 years ago, like people were not concerned, like getting married, for example. Like, people never got divorced, and it's not because they didn't want to get divorced, they just couldn't. Like, if you pair up with someone, that's it. Like, if you break that off, then you're probably going to die. Like you can barely survive as it is.
It was more than just a business transaction. It was like, all right, we are going to, pool resources and food and double our chances of survival and become a unit. So divorce was like, yeah, pretty much not really a question. Although, like, someone cheating on someone else was like clearly not super great.
Happened a lot.
Yeah.
Like, whenever you don't love your partner, then guess what? Cheating probably, like, they do all those testing of royal lines where they go back and like, yeah, you're not actually related. That king that you thought had like 5 sons, none of those were his.
And in many of these cases, it's like, people know that this dude's cheating, but let's not talk about it. Mm-hmm. Let's cover that up and whatnot.
So for her, actually, just picking someone to raise a kid because she felt like she could do it, and because it was something that was probably expected of her as she got older, then, I love the chin clips through that.
Beautiful.
And it's probably more of it's like that. Like, it's not something that was meant for love. It's not something that was really meant for anything greater, like, oh, me, anything like that. It was just, I probably should.
Yeah. It seemed like something like the right idea, or at least something to try, And then the stage she's at now is one where it's like, well, there's not much else to really try or do. I know what I'm good at. I know how I feed myself, and I know that, like, At this point, I've got some offspring, and like whatever that worked out to be, it's shitty that we don't get along, but hey, like,
Yeah, that's
he's
her
not
fulfillment. Like that's the state her life is in.
Yeah, and if she tracked him down, like, he wouldn't not open the door, But it's just like they never really connected enough to have a what we think of when we think of a child-parent relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But she's definitely someone that she's not such a shitty person that they'd hate each other and she'd be able to sleep with that.
It's a normal relationship. Like, there's disappointment on both sides, there are mistakes on both sides, but there's still people, and he'll grow up to be fine in the same way that she grew up to be fine, and they'll accomplish completely different things because they were never really the same sort of person anyways.
And he will not be naming his offspring after her.
No. And he'll probably not want his offspring to be farmers either, but he probably also would not want them to grow up to be like his mother.
Which I suppose then brings us to her name, since we don't really have.
And we obviously know what her family name is.
Well, we don't know
foreign.
yet.
Well,
Clearly,
it's
yes. Vidanoia. Yeah.
But whenever you're making your character, and we've been over this before, but naming your character can take just as long as actually making the character. I've done this so much whenever you're writing anything, especially, and you're trying to, like, whenever you're naming a character, it has to be something that encapsulates everything about that character.
Yes.
Everything. Their physical appearance, what their role in whatever story you're writing happens to be, their personality traits, their growth as a character, where it's going to end up taking them. Like, it's incredibly difficult.
I don't think I'm selling the Cataracts that well.
You could probably up the, yeah.
Was it just the opacity?
There you go, yeah.
Just a little bit
now
of that.
Now zoom back out and see how it looks.
Hold on a second. If I just pull up, quick little reference, like last time.
Because, actually, going back to the naming of the character.
Yes.
One of the things that you have to consider is this is Fantasyland, of course.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry too much about being accurate to real life. Like I was saying before, like the whole my gripe with, we got to do elves this way. We have to make them elves because that's just what we do. There's a lot of problem of you have to do things a certain way. Like if you make like someone that looks sort of like a black person in a video game, but it's in Fantasyland, then you might feel compelled to, I need to name them. I can't name them Tom. Why would I ever do that? They're like, that's not how things are done. Don't worry about it. But at the same time, you have to sort of abide by what people have as a natural conception anyways. That whenever we look at someone that has like a skin tone like this, we might have a preconception of what even a fake name for them might sound like.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to look at those pants. I really don't. So, like I said, I feel like, based on the place, we said a little bit of like a sort of Turkish thing, but a Kurdish kind of origin is the place that I think that she would come from. Not obviously, since I don't think it's planet Earth that they're on, but like the equivalent country to like somewhere like that, or at least that type of area. So you got to work a name that uses a language that would sound appropriate. Like you said, names can go on forever. The fun part is just sort of like dissecting the sounds and putting them together into something that sounds like interesting.
And as I pointed out last time, another component of it is just like trying to do something like incorporating a single word or something from that language that means something related to their personality.
Right. And I know that something that I fucking hate is like, Tenjo Tenge. You've got a character in that called Bob Makihara, and he's a giant black man, and his last name is Makihara because God forbid you use a not Japanese name for a character like that. Or in many circumstances, you'll have American guy whose name is Tom Suzumiya, because it's just like the Japanese sounding last name just makes it sound familiar and like correct.
Especially, I don't understand that. Like if a character is famous, then you got to make sure that at least their grandfather was Japanese. Like,
or
it's got to have something in there.
Yeah, but no, they just don't care, and it's just like, no, the last name just sounds correct. Therefore, we're going to go with a Japanese last name, and no one will question it.
But Smith, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
It's not real.
You know, so the last thing I want to do here is go with a Christian name or anything particularly Western that's full or like based on that, because it's not the right time, it's not the right place, you know. But like you can see that she's wearing armor, and you can see that she's wearing like leather and like things that are just kind of like if you wanted to place her what am I trying to get at?
She's actually she's set for she's equipped for the role that she lives.
Yes, but I guess what I'm trying to say though is that like based on what she's wearing right now, like, this is her canon outfit. The time frame that she lives in, you can also use that to sort of
reinforce the notion of where she came from
and put that into her name. So like if we were going with Western names and whatnot, like you wouldn't necessarily go for a chastity. You might lean more towards an Ethel. You know what I mean? So, but in this case, we're talking Kurdish.
And Woolie, neither one of us are particularly experts in Kurdish names or language.
No, we are not.
So we will use the power of Google Translate or something of that nature.
Yes, we will. And
thesaurus.com. Thesaurus.com is so useful. I use it for everything.
So like I remember how we arrived at our conclusions last time, and I found that to be greatly amusing. Because I remember saying that, like, right off the bat, let's say, okay, Portuguese, Italian, no. We want to go English to...
English is the source.
English is the source. English is the source.
They've added a shit ton of languages in the past 2 years.
And Kurdish.
Right above... What is that?
Kurmanji.
Kyrgyz was the other one below that? I have no idea.
Oh, yeah. I have no idea where that's from, actually. Interesting.
Google's been on the ball, I guess.
And just to kind of see what we're working with, we can take a look at some Kurdish girl names. And
you get a loose idea. Like, you're not going to have to abide by the real world or anything.
No.
This is a starting point.
Right, you get an idea for some of your syllables and things like that. I know that, like, looking through these, I got to a place where, you know, I'm a fan of a name that ends in QI. So like, to me, that was like that was the first thing that I put in here and said, all right, we'll work with that as the end and then see what we can put in front of it.
Right. So the difficulty comes, like, you don't want to just look at the names and pick out syllables and think, well, I kind of like the sound of this one, I kind of like the sound of, and make a Frankenstein monster.
Nazgul is a Kurdish name?
Yes. I want to meet her.
Holy
Feast
shit.
on his flesh. All right.
Oh, well. You say so, babe. Yeah. And you don't necessarily want to do that, but what you can do is you can have fun with the with words. And what were some of the words that we were using?
Well, we were saying that she was someone that was very tired.
Yes. Exhaustion. Exhaustion. Wow, that completely changes it.
Woo.
How do you even approach How do you approach this word? How do you confront it?
It has power that it's hiding its true power level from me. I can't.
Can I buy a vowel? Can I click a sound thing
This
somewhere
sounds like
here?
a Ghostbusters villain.
Yeah. And let's be real, Zulk was not a girl in the class that you'd really want to hang out with.
Maybe not.
She smelled funny.
Yeah. Poor Zulk. Zulk the Conqueror.
Right. Westia was tired.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of went down that train of thought, and I believe I arrived at the conclusion of done.
Done.
Just fucking
done.
And we got to Kirin, which is, appropriately enough, a name that already exists in multiple languages.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly. So,
and also can be somewhat ambiguous in regards to gender as well.
Yes.
And as I told you, I actually have my own character named Kirin. And actually, there is a character in Dark Souls named Kirin.
And I had a character named Kirin in my pantheon of stupid comic book heroes from grade 6. So,
no, not to be overly literal with it. You don't actually have to use that name. But the point of this is the sound.
Yes.
It creates that connotation. And it's a good starting point. Like how Dragon Ball characters, Toriyama names like Freezer, King Cold, and all the Saiyans are named after vegetables and things like that. It's not because you're actually supposed to go, oh, of course, carrot. Of course, that makes sense. It's just a framework that you put things around to make sure that things are uniform and they sound sort of vaguely reminiscent of each other.
Ah, damn it! I thought I could use the Kurdish word to get it to. I want him to pronounce this, you know.
You can copy and paste the. Of course, yeah, you could try to do it that way.
Is this gonna work?
Exhaustion.
You just have to make sure that's not in English.
XULQ.
Damn it! Say it. No, it's not saying it. That sucks.
It's not. It's because it doesn't have the support for it yet.
It doesn't know what the fuck is happening over there.
You could always pick something that's a similar language.
Yeah.
Like something like you can pick a Germanic language for something that's in that family of languages, or you can pick a Latin language.
Hey Google. How to pronounce
Google respond, I don't fucking know.
Yeah. We're gonna
I love how
leave that alone.
the first thing that you get a call back of is just swirly lines that none of us recognize.
Where is this even taking me? It's taking me to archive.org, so we're gonna leave that alone. Alright.
We somehow wind up in the deep web.
On Silk Road. What? Where'd this video, huh?
Trading Sally bones with each other.
Oh no.
We've gone too far.
Oh no.
Done.
Kirin, done.
Kirin.
QI.
And you were trying to combine that with what was the final one? Key. So if you do that very literally, it would be Kirin Key.
Kirin Key, yeah.
But that doesn't sound quite. It doesn't have the flow to it.
No, and you remove the end, you get a little closer. You get Kiriki, which is fine, but just not 100% to my tastes. And you play with some vowels, Kiroki, Kireki, Kiraki. And I was like, yeah, I could see that.
Sounds a bit more natural. That's probably some sort of swear word somewhere in some language.
Kiraki.
I don't fucking care about your crazy ass language. We speak English, good old American over here.
Fucking Kirakis getting all over the place, stealing all the jarbs. Burthen.
Yeah, her father trained her to hunt a few Karakis in her day, so she got the name.
And it's the interesting thing about it too is I think the sound of QI at the end also specifically sounds like a first name. I don't think Kiraki could ever pass for a last name.
It is weird how that works.
And I don't know why my brain is telling me that, maybe seeing as I speak English, but it's just telling me that it's not a last name.
There's things that almost seem like they're wired into the human mind. Like you don't see many names that are like first names that are just like 7 separated consonants in a row.
That are just say that again, sorry?
You don't have many names that are like 7 separated consonants in a row in the sense like they're all separate words or something. You don't see formatting like that.
Right,
Usually
right.
This is just a simple noise that we make. Like they're just basic things like that. Which is kind of one of the reasons why it's always annoying me to see like fantasy names where the character has like a million apostrophes in their name or dashes all over the place.
Yeah. Oh god, like 8 apostrophes. Yeah, just like we get it. All right, relax.
This is like heterochromia for words. That's
yeah. You know, and like that the language they speak would not write it out that way and would not have it look that complicated. Absolutely. I think like the pose was another thing too that
and as I remember, these are very exaggerated because MMO.
Right, and that
almost
and it always reverts to perfect cutesy little doll. Just look at her smiling
with her Arnold or Terminator 2 expression.
Oh, Josama.
Now why you smile?
Yeah.
And of course, this is an MMO, like I said before, it has to be somewhat exaggerated because you're not looking directly at them.
Exactly.
You're in a big field with hundreds of other quote-unquote unique special little snowflakes. So of course, what the fuck are you dangling? So of course they have to look kind of exaggerated. What the fuck is that?
Like the way she pulled back there, right? Like, could you imagine if, like, because in Dark Souls, like, that's the kind of wave you ended up getting? Like,
Hi. I'm here to kill you.
Okay, enough of that.
I'm sure a lot of people would love that, though.
There we go. I guess. Sure.
Not quite a boat stance, but still. Almost looks like an actual human being.
Yeah. Like, I kind of just want something that's a little bit like, just like,
show me the well, what is it right there? Oh, that's not well, what is it?
Yeah, that's this weird cartoony thing. It's not at all. Like, stop. No. Stretching? No, don't do that kind of stretching.
I love how even, like, they want so hard for it to be a stereotypical pop, just waifu character.
Yeah, she's so
Can't have strong motions. Can't have that.
She's so dainty and flowery and everything, and her wrists are pointing outward and just fucking... and it's like, why put that filter on all of the animations instead of having a mixture of everything is what I don't understand.
Kind of looks like Lucy Lawless there for a split second.
Oh, a little Xena vibe.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Not there so much though.
All right, we're just gonna have to stick with that.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of that's what does it.
So we have ourselves Karaki. So we are we're ready to play the game finally.
I suppose we are. Data 1. Yeah, how about that? Oh, okay. Well, anyway.
Magnificent.
Complete. Oh.
How dare you?
Oh.
Just put an extra I on the end and call it a day.
Yeah, it's right. Already in use by me.
We will hunt down the other one. Oh, wait, it's us. But we'll still kill them.
It's on a different server. What the fuck? It should be fine. Alright. Well, anyway. Ignoring that.
Shh.
Yeah!
You saw nothing. Oh, no. Oh, God.
That's the pretty little elven maiden that we all know and love.
This is Linkle's angry aunt.
Oh, fuck. You just can't escape it. They won't have it. They tell you what they want for you.
Well,
that's
we talked about how whenever you make a character, you can't approach it from, I want to make this character. But whenever your entire game world is reinforcing, make this character, there's got to be some kind of leeway, man.
That's it. And it's like, what if you wanted to make, like, a goofball? Like, just a complete wacky, which is something that people that play MMOs like to do sometimes. Jester, crazy kind of character. I feel like you're restricted from that because everything is too perfect still.
Even in Dark Souls, like people, like in Demons and Dark 1, you couldn't really do it as well. But they sort of have started making it where in the character creator you can make your dumb meme
the merchants and
they have like bright purple skin and their face overextends way too far and shit like that.
Right.
So even they enable you in this
Nauru was a
incredibly
thriving
dire
city
and
of
depressing
sailors
setting
and
to,
merchants.
just do what you want to.
And
Oh, there's
crowded
fun,
areas
stupid
were
going.
guarded by
There's Chad.
mercenaries.
Here's all the generic
Little did
Korean
they
characters.
know what had arrived.
Here's our video card ads.
Could any of these people know?
So we've got
the
some-
Elysian
This is
stone?
Radeon.
It is the
So we've
mythical
got a story.
stone of the
We've got a story.
ancient
Wait,
civilization.
this has a story?
But the dark,
There's a
power
stone.
it possesses has been
There's
hidden
some-
by that very
Some
civilization.
mages.
Yeah, they did a thing.
The
Do you
Elysian
think
I like
these-
that one isn't bothering. Two of them aren't bothering
A
to actually
mysterious
stand up. They
black
can't bother.
smoke rose
Do you
up
think
over the
hubris
ridge.
of the
It
magic
seemed
users
to
might
know
be to blame
exactly where it was
for the
heading.
bad thing that's about to happen?
To Goma Naru.
Flying too close to the sun?
The
So they
Elysian
summoned
stone
some sort of evil
reverberated.
monster mash that you will never have to beat at
People
the end of the
started
game.
to
I'm sure.
disappear
Only
all across
after
Goma Naru.
finding and or rebuilding the stone.
This is how you save. This is how you save money. What's the thing
In
that you
the
guys
end,
played that was just like
There
this?
was no
Oh,
one left.
God,
That day was soon forgotten.
I can't
Damn
remember
it.
his name.
Yeah. Black guy.
Yeah,
Black
black
hero
guy.
action man.
That's what it was. Black Action Man.
Oh, God.
That was
yeah.
a good game. That Black Action Man. That's how you save money right there, though. I
Slide
did notice that the
camera.
little black ball things with red eyes, they put those all over the place. They're kind of menacing, but also kind of cutesy as a mascot, if that's what they're pushing for.
Little bad guys from Eco. That is.
Yeah, little racist guys that sell PlayStation Vitas.
Marlo Briggs. There we go.
Yeah, there you go, Marlo Briggs. Black man. How did they-
Blackman. Black.
Here we are at Karaki's farm, I'm assuming.
Yep. Where she went back and decided to wear some it's hurting me.
Yeah, I know, the fucking clothes. I mean,
And
we
it's the
make this character,
leggings.
and especially the leggings, but we make this character, we go out of our way to give her all this backstory and everything. And I know we're supposed to be working with the confines of the game world, but Jesus. Whenever the game forces itself on you like this, it really kills your attachment to the character.
You know, because it just crushes your immersion. My immersion. It hurt me right in the heart.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'll tell you what, Woolie.
Yeah.
Maybe I know we were gonna play Black Desert, but really, that's kind of the gist of the game. I feel. I think that we've kind of done all that we can do right here.
What? You don't want to get ready to go on an adventure with Kiraki, right? Well,
I've kind of already been on my adventure with her.
yeah. You know what?
I mean, look around you. Look at all these fucking buildings and the tiny little. What the fuck are those?
And
Are those
then-
children?
Yeah,
Those dwarves?
and it's probably going to take like 20 hours before I can get anything resembling like a item of clothing that I don't find horrendous. And
Yeah,
I just,
the little heartless guy up top from Kingdom Hearts is not going to leave you alone either. Even she can, like, look at her. Even she feels it.
So, yeah, you know what? Maybe that's Black Desert, and you know,
I feel like we did a lot, though.
I feel like we accomplished quite a bit. I think,
That's nice. Yeah, that's a nice camera angle.
yeah, I think that's a hell of a character creator. I think they did a good job.
Yeah,
And,
Black Desert's pretty good. Nice combat system. That was a pretty good boss that we fought. I was really kind of slightly underwhelmed by the ending, though.
Yeah, you know, all that build up for them to just drop the ball at the end. What can you say? You know, but
I enjoyed myself, though. It was a good experience.
good, a nice, fulfilling LP, if I do say so myself.
It's worth all that DLC.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in to the podcast. And maybe tune in again sometime or something.
Might be more videos like this down the road. Maybe not necessarily with me. There could be other things that we could expand upon, whether it's going to be character creation, whether it's going to be, you know, game design or something else, whatever we want it to be.
Whatever we want it to.
Oh, goodbye, Black Desert. I've already forgotten that you existed. Again.
Hey.